Hi there, this is Coach Saiful and we are now on training video number 4. Okay, so this current video, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through the next one called the A over B equal to C over D. Now, I know I've covered this before in the very first video, but I want to go in depth today to make sure that you really understand how to do this, alright? But before that, let's do a quick recap again. I like to do recaps because recaps help you a lot with remembering. So let's do a quick one over here. The A over B, if you remember, right? A over B, first entity is called A, second entity is called B. So the first entity is referring to the 2 and the second entity is referring to the 3. The next one over here, A over B more or less than, same thing, entity A, entity B, right? The difference is that, if you remember, entity A has these words called more than and behind it. So for example, 1 more than 6, which is 1 plus 6 equals to 7. And the entity B will always remain the same. So it's always referring to the denominator. Now the third one that we just learned in the last video is called the X more or less than A over B. Now if you remember, I showed you a kind of a shortcut, which is a fast way to do this, which is to imagine for a while that these words, the X, right, $200 more than or $200 less than, you don't read it first. If you don't read it first, what happens? You actually get the first child gets 3 times as much as the second child. Now, which tells you what? It's very similar to the A over B, remember? Because the first child is the entity A and the second child is the entity B. So therefore, first child is 3 units, second child is 1 unit, and then you add back or you subtract whatever is the X. So for example, in this case, it would be 3 units plus $200 because it says $200 more than. If you had said $200 less than, then you have minus, right? So it would be 3 units minus $200 if that's the case. So not lastly, the next one I'm going to go into is actually the fourth one, which is the A over B equal to C over D. But before that, I want to remind you that this is just one part of the whole roadmap, right? So this whole thing is just one part of the whole roadmap. We are now here at the language of problem sums. In our programs, we actually go through every single one of these phases, the 3 parts, which is prep, drill, and score. Actually, the next step for your child to know, actually, after knowing the language of problem sums, is to know what are the must-know problem-solving methods. And then they have to identify or detect which one to use, because there's so many of them, right? So the must-know one, there are 20. We cover this in our program called Master Problem Sum by Friday, and we also cover it in our main weekend program where we go through bit by bit by bit by bit, right? And the advanced problem solving, there's another 20. So there's a lot of them. So how do you detect which ones to use? So for now, we're just going to cover the language of problem sums. So let's go dive right in. Okay, so here we are. In this work example, it says that 2 out of 5 of the lions are equal to 1 out of 4 of the hyenas. Now, so the A over B is the 1 over here, the 2 over 5. And the C over D is the 1 over here for the second entity, which is the 1 over 4. Now, this is called the equal concept, right? So the equal concept, basically, if you remember, I showed you in the first video, was that there's a very long way to do it. But we don't want to do things a long way, right? Do we? We're going to do things a short way. So whenever you see this keywords, which is you have one fraction, you have another fraction, and the word says equal in between, you know straight away you can use this thing called the A over B equal to C over D. So in this case, let's just bring this down. 2 over 5 equal to 1 over 4. Now, if you remember, the shortcut is just to make the common numerator. Now, if you ask me why, it's because the 2 parts of the lions are equal to 1 part of the hyenas. So if 2 parts of lions are equal to 1 part of hyenas, how do we make sure that they are the same parts, right? So to compare, we have to make the same parts. So 2 out of 5 is equal to, you have to multiply both of these by 2. Therefore, we get 2 over 5 equal to 2 over 8. Get it? So 2 over 5 equals to 2 over 8. Now, what does this mean? It means that 2 units of lions is equal to 2 units of hyenas. Now we're comparing both equally. And the total number of units for hyenas, as you can see here, is 5. And the total number of units of the total number of units for lions is 5, and the total number of units of hyenas is actually 8. So this is where you immediately, right, do it and you get an answer straight away. You can draw the model immediately without wasting any time. So that's a few examples over here. It's very similar, right? 2 over 5 of the Malay books is equal to 1 over 5 of the English books. So 2 over 5m equal to 1 over 5e. Convert into common numerators. What do? You multiply by 2. The top has to be the same, right? So multiply by 2, multiply by 2. You'll get 2 out of 10. So that means that 2 out of 5 Malay books, which means that total number of units of Malay books is 5. And here will be 2 out of 10, which means that total number of units of English books is 10. Get it? Very simple. So same goes for this one over here. Is 2 over 3 women's socks is equal to 1/4 of men's socks. So 2 over 3 W is equal to 1 over 4 M. So what do? We look at the numerator, we make it common, make it the same. We multiply this by 2, we multiply this by 2, we will get 2 over 8. So the women's socks are 3 units and the men's socks are 8 units. Now let's take a look at how this is being applied in an actual problem sum. Alright, so in a safari there are 76 animals. 4 over 7 of the lions are equal to 1 out of 3 of the hyenas. How many more hyenas than lions are there? Now the moment we see this, we say A over B, we see C over D, we see the word equal, we straight away use the concept, you get it? So what we do is, we know that it's 4 out of 7, correct? And the next step is, if it's 1 over 3, if we make it into common numerator, what happens? It becomes 4 out of 12. So which means that these 4 units is equivalent to another 4 units over here for the hyenas, but the hyenas have a total of 12 units. So we're going to just draw 12 units and that becomes a total of 76. Now the question asks you how many more hyenas than lions are there. So let's calculate based on the given values, right? Let's see over here, there's actually an extra 5 units. So the 5 units is what we're looking for. We're looking for how many more hyenas than lions are there. So what we do is, we say, okay, there's a total of 7, right, plus 12, which is 19 units. And 19 units is equal to 76. Now, therefore, to find 1 unit, all we do is we simply divide 76 by 19, giving you the answer of 4. So how many more hyenas than lions are there? There were 5 units more, which means that 5 times 4 gives you the answer of 20, and that is the answer. There are 20 more hyenas than lions. And we are done. So again, I want to remind you that this is actually just one part of the whole roadmap. This is the language of problem sums, and the next step for your child is to learn the must-know problem-solving methods, to know how to detect what method to use, and then use the advanced methods, so on and so forth. And to do all this, we actually use it every single day. We do this in our center. On the weekends also, we do a program for you guys. Actually, you guys can actually come. Just send your child over. It's a 2-hour free trial. You can actually come and explore and see what it has in store for your child. It's done amazing things with a lot of children. You can experience the holistic math mastery approach live, receive an assessment from one of our coaches, and receive an individualized study plan right after the test that we actually sit for. You sit for, your child sit for. Okay, not you sit for. Alright, so with that, this is Coach Saiful signing off. See you in the next video.
We all use math every day. Math is more than just formulas and equations. It's everything.